Well.
We're here.
Whoa, hold on, I have to remember how we switch all of this around. Oh, no, I'm
Okay.
so not used to this.
I
Uh,
love it.
what's new, Melanie Mac? Are you noticing anything different about our vibe today?
Oh, lots of Christmas in your background. I love
Yours
it.
too. I was gonna
A
say it's
little.
Flamingo today. No boys allowed except for chat. We love you.
Yes, I love this. Girl talk, Christmas hype. It's great.
I think it is pretty good. I'm
Excited
excited
for
about it.
Amfest coming up.
I know,
So,
it's wild. So, for those of you who only watch Astrocast, Jeremy is away. He's traveling down to Amfest. He's getting stuff set up. So, of course, Melly and I were happy to hold down the fort.
yeah,
I am the only IT department right now. So, if there's any problem, I
that's your
honestly don't want to hear about
specialty.
it because I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah,
But I
don't
hope
even.
you're having a good time. Uh, tell Jeremy it went smoothly no matter what
Yes,
happens.
no
We're
matter
in
what.
this together.
If we're muted the whole time for the second half of the show, it's you didn't see nothing. It's
He
fine.
made me a video on like everything to do behind the scenes, and I have done it before. I don't
Yeah,
trust myself,
but
and then was still texting me like a minute ago being like, "Here are the instructions." And honestly, I'm so grateful for it because it's hard to be in charge of someone else's tech, you know?
oh, for sure, it's hard enough being in charge of your own tech. That's how I feel with my streams all the time.
I don't even
So,
stream and I'm scared of my tech.
yeah.
It's rough times out here. How are you doing? Are you so we're gonna meet in person for the very first
Yes,
time
I'm
tomorrow, Thursday, like
excited.
this week.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. So yeah, been hyped for that. I do feel a kidney stone coming on though, so I'm
What?
hoping that
Just in time. Are you trying to
I'm like,
bail out of Amfest?
wow.
Because Jeremy told me specifically we're not allowed to bail out.
Yeah, no, I won't. Like, if I kidney stone if starts passing at Amfest, hey, like I'm just gonna grin and bear it. Like I've done that before. Had a kidney stone pass while I was driving on a road
What?
trip. It was
I
awful, but I know what I'm in tune enough to know, and I've had enough kidney stones because I don't drink enough water that I know what's happening. So I'm not panicking. I just have to like
you're
deal with
not
the
panicking.
pain for a
You are
little bit.
aware that a kidney stone is on its way. Okay.
I did learn last time because, like, the first time I got a kidney stone, all I wanted to do was just like lay down, lay in the bath, have a heating pad, and try to rest because I wasn't feeling well. But then when I realized after I had that one kidney stone passing on the road trip, I got out, went to Walmart, walked around Walmart for a while. Like, the more you're like walking around, even
You kind
jumping,
of have to
like
like move
it
it, right?
helps. Yes. So, yeah,
My only experience with kidney stones is like seeing people on TV, and I can't remember what show, but there's some TV show that did like woman in labor, man passing kidney stones, and like kind of cut back and forth. So I
yeah.
assume they're extremely painful. The fact that you could pass one while driving, I mean, I'm scared of you now.
They are painful, but for me, I just feel like the worst pain is like when it starts moving through the kidney in that little tube. Once it gets in the bladder, like I'm good. But it's just that time while it's moving through that. So my kidney
Ugh.
stones weren't huge though, so I'm sure it'd be
Well,
more painful if they were. But
I
yeah,
hope you guys come to Amfest, and I hope you start a pool on when Melanie's going to pass her kidney stones. Hopefully, while we're live streaming, but honestly, maybe
we'll
that'd be the
see.
worst.
Yeah, we'll see.
Uh, are you uh are you excited for Arizona, for Phoenix to be amongst the crowd?
I am. I think it'll be a great time. And I think we've needed like this morale boosts like this are always great when we see a lot of the craziness that go on in the world and we see just like how look what happened when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, how all the
Yeah.
liberals were like, not all of them, but the egregious ones were celebrating and thinking that this was going to kill our resolve. And so despite such a tragic thing happening, like we've been uniting and standing strong and being there just as a community, as the conservative community, to stand up
Yeah.
against all of this craziness and evil that's going on in the world and in society. And so I think this is really going to help morale, just having all of us here, sold out event, and being with a bunch of people who are like minded on the important issues. So it'll be great.
Right. I think it's going to be interesting to see kind of what the energy is like, especially given, generally the passing of Charlie Kirk, but also the more recent Erica Kirk, Candace Owens peace
Yes.
talks. Like, there's a lot of stuff afoot, turning point related, and then just generally in sort of the conservative part of culture. So I'm curious to see kind of what the energy on the ground is. And I'm also, excited. I mean, you guys who watch the show know this, but we are all remote. So it'll be kind of fun to do something live and in person, like,
Oh, for
like a real
sure.
team here. I mean,
I
not that we're
would
not a real
love
team.
that. But yeah, there's definitely now that you mention that, yeah, there's a huge concerted effort to like divide the right that has been going on with a lot of this stuff with
Mhm.
Candace Owens and all of that, and especially poor Erica, right? With all of these accusations against her right now, or like it's
It's just
insane.
crazy times.
And
And I
so
know
yeah,
I think Candace Owens is going to do a video later today. I haven't seen one yet
I'm
if she's had a
curious to see
response because they
that.
had their like summit yesterday. I
Yeah,
also like going to these kind of large gatherings, whether it be Turning Point or something else, just like generally anything like this, because you run into a lot of people and kind of, I feel like, get a pulse on what the issues that matter to the people are. Like, it's one thing if the media or whatever politician is like, we should really talk about this issue. I really care about this. But when you're on the floor, especially in this case with like a younger crowd, what do they care about? What are they asking questions about? What are they wanting to
yes,
hear about from speakers? So I feel like it's
exactly.
always a good experience.
Yeah, and I feel
Yeah.
like right now what's really been making waves is just talking about Muslim takeover and what that would look like and what we're
Hmm.
seeing. So I feel like that's going to be that's like really the next big topic that's been front of mind for conservatives, and it's important that it is,
Yeah.
because seeing what's happening around the world, and even with these even here with these violent acts happening, this is an important topic, and it's one that's touchy for a lot of people because they don't want to be seen as a bigot or this, that, or the other.
Right. Right.
But it's important. It's important to talk about, and it's important to stand against the Muslim religion and what it does to society and how it destroys society, and how we can't allow that takeover here.
I wonder if we'll get like an explicit comment like that from one of the speakers, because I feel like a
Yeah,
lot of people are afraid to say stuff like that. The other topic that I expect to hear a lot about is affordability. In part because, again, like if Turning Point is for college students and high school age students, younger Americans, this is sort of the big challenge facing us, right? Like we have to be
right.
able to build a life for ourselves and our children and our families in this world. And it seems like the Trump administration is sort of, I'm not going to say doing a bad job, but they are definitely struggling with their messaging on affordability, because it's like,
For
yes, you
sure.
inherited something bad from Biden. On the other hand, like, we still do need to see progress. On the other hand, like, there's sort of a sympathetic ear, and then there's also occasionally it seems as though they're deflecting. So
That's
it'll
true.
be, I'll be curious to see kind of what's said about that at this conference. Okay, so obviously because Jeremy's not here, Melanie and I are in charge today. Whether you like it or not, I think he's going to do Lone Wolf Cast tomorrow. So with Justice Girls, I thought we'd do a little bit of a news roundup on two of the kind of top headlines from this weekend, because they're still sort of developing stories. And then we'll go through some of our topics for today. We're going to talk about Kash Patel and his appearance on a relationship podcast. We're going to talk about Donald Trump Jr. getting engaged. And we're going to talk about a little bit about Michigan football. I know we're a sports podcast now. You're all psyched. It's just as girls. I have an article at the end I'm hoping we get to with some roundups of the top cultural moments of
Yes.
2025. Because I like to have a little cross section of news and culture here. So let's
Good
get
stuff.
started. Are you ready, Melanie?
Yes. Also, shout out to my Steelers for that win last night. Very important game for our playoff
Yes.
running right now. So it's looking pretty good for us winning the division.
Good. I'm
So
glad.
yeah.
You know who I don't want to win the division? The Packers. Just kidding. I don't know anything about sports. Jeremy, don't fire me. I'm gonna get like deleted right now.
Oh.
Just kidding. I almost wore my hair in a bun just to be defiant
Oh, we
here.
both should have
We
planned
should
that.
have. Oh my gosh, Melanie, I'm sorry. I could
It's
have helped.
okay.
This could have
Next
been
time.
chaos cast, full estro. Just
Next
mute me on
time.
board. Okay, so obviously you probably heard about the attack in Bondi Beach, Australia. It was a gathering for Hanukkah, and two men a father and son team came and attacked a huge crowd there. Obviously, you've seen the video of Ahmed
Yeah.
Al Ahmed, who was a migrant to Syria, or from Syria, I believe, to Australia, taking down the older attacker. As far as I know, the younger attacker is still in a coma in the hospital, but the indication is that he's going to survive his injuries and therefore be charged. The father is deceased. What I thought was interesting was that the new statement from Australian law enforcement is that there were incendiary devices found in the car registered to the son, and that they had what appeared to be an ISIS flag in their car. They also visited the Philippines, which I guess in the south of the country has some hotbed for ISIS activities. So they're now investigating the father and son's trip to the Philippines. Melanie, what do you make of this story?
Goodness, I think that I mean, this is one of many examples where we have to be extremely careful about Muslim takeover, and we just have to take a step back and stop worrying so much about about being perceived as a bigot or this, that, or the other, and realize that the Muslim religion is an evil one, and it's a violent one. And let this be an example that we don't want things like this happening in America. And we have to, like, I'm seeing pretty extreme for my takes on this, but I don't think we should be taking any Muslim immigrants whatsoever in America. I think that should be an actual criteria. Like, it's dangerous. Like, I mean,
you can see why, right?
Here.
Like,
yeah,
we've talked about this before with like mosques in America that have known ties to people who are tied to terrorist members. They talk about this in like Sweden and other countries where there is a large Muslim population, and therefore they see a rise in crime. It's hard because you obviously like, for me, I think that there should be little to no immigration at all. So
right.
Muslim, otherwise, like, it's fine by me. But it does seem to be constantly underscored that the narrative of, well, we can all just live together and get along is not the case. And
Exactly.
I'm a little disappointed that Australia's response to this is to be like, even though we have strict gun laws, we're going to make them stricter, instead of being like, we need to evaluate how we're letting people into the country.
Yeah. And then isn't it just like in France right now, where they're like, oh, by the way, we're not going to have a New Year's festival because they're scared of the Muslims, like committing terrorist acts at there. It's just like,
and like in Germany a couple of years ago, someone drove a car into a Christmas market. Like, it's not that, like, how long does this go on for before, like, look, this risk is maybe not worth it. And obviously, like, not all people are the same, and not all people who practice the same religion are the same. Like, I get it. Give me your caveats, whatever. But in this case, like, you are putting people at risk. And, I'm hearing a lot of like people who feel tied to the Jewish community in Australia. Like, I can't imagine that you're looking at this and being like, sounds good, we're still good with Muslim migration. Like,
right.
It's not just like Christians that might be fearful in this scenario. I think it's a lot of people who are looking at it and saying like, what is going on, and why is this allowed to happen?
Exactly. And when you see in Iran what happened, just you can see with just the women how they used to be like in the 60s and 70s, kind of like more westernized with their attire, and how they were able to present themselves. And then now it's just like full on crazy over there. So it's just like, we can't be welcoming that here. And the takeover, like, absolutely could happen if we bring them in numbers. And just because, like, there might be some Muslims that we know personally who are nice and all this kind of stuff, at the root of it, the Muslim religion is violent, it's demonic, it's destroys societies, and it doesn't belong here. So let them have their Muslim places, but keep it out of here.
It would seem fair to me to say, like, until you are able to until there is a system in place to knowingly screen for, terrorist ties, or to really engage with assimilation, because that's part of the issue, right?
Right.
Like, you're coming to the country, but you're not actually becoming a part of the culture. Until we have a better system, I wouldn't want to continue the way we are. And again, like, Australia is looking at the guns, but they have some of the strictest gun laws. So maybe it's time to move on to something else. Like, maybe not all cultures can live together. And
that's true. They can't.
what if they
They can't.
can't? Like,
It's
if they
true.
can't, then what do we do? Just
It's
keep being
true.
like, well, maybe we should.
Oh, a big Muslim got her. But yeah, speaking of assimilation, that is key. You even look at like immigration, like in the Bible, and how God told the Israelites to handle things. Like the people that they were taking in had to assimilate, right? So
Yeah.
when the pagans came in, for example, it's like, no, don't bring in any pagans who are worshiping false gods and so on and so forth. And so I have just a I have that attitude when it comes to immigration in the US. Like they need to assimilate here, and if they're going to be practicing their Muslim religion, then that's not assimilating to our culture because it doesn't work with our culture. Honestly, the Muslim religion is unhealthy for every culture. So it doesn't technically work anywhere, but it certainly is not compatible here. So if they can't assimilate, then they don't belong here.
Right. And I feel like there has to be more to assimilation than just like you move to an ethnic enclave in this country. I mean, that was part of America's migration. I mean, you hear about this with like Scandinavians who all moved to Minnesota and started stuff there. But, you know, I think we've come so far from the days of like people, you know, migrants from Italy moving to New York and like encouraging their kids to speak English rather than Italian because they want them to fit in, to being like, yeah, we're here, but we're also not here. We're not here for you. We're here for ourselves. And I just don't think that's sustainable long term. The other story that I would like to, you know, just do a little update on, because again, it's developing, is the search for the gunman who attacked the Brown University in Rhode Island. So the FBI has announced that they'll offer a $50,000 reward. They've released a poster with new information about a suspicious person. Obviously, the first person of interest, they were like, it could be him. Just kidding. It's not him. I don't know if you listened yesterday.
Stocky build. Is that all we know? Just stocky build man?
Here, I'll show you what Kash Patel has put out on the FBI's website. So he appears to be kind of a heavier man. He's got, you know, a two-tone jacket on here. He's got a mask, you know, black pants. He was seen around the campus in the hours leading up to the attack, and I believe afterwards. So it's not clear to me if they're saying like this person is affiliated but not the gunman, or this is the gunman. We're now entering, I think, day 4 of the manhunt. Can you believe that?
Wow. Goodness.
It seems wild to me. I mean, Luigi Mangione was on the run for I think 2 days, maybe. Hello, cat.
Yeah. It's Edward. How long did it take? How long was like Tyler Robinson on the run? Now that we talk about it, I can't remember.
So he turned himself in. I think it was like within the 24-hour window, but there was a moment where the FBI had been like, "We got someone." Just kidding. And in this case, they didn't say they had someone. The police, it's their prerogative to, you know, arrest a person of interest. Like if they think it's a group plotting this, there might be multiple arrests. The guy who was initially arrested and identified was this 24-year-old guy from Wisconsin, and he's been released. It doesn't seem like he's connected to this at all. Initially with this case, they were saying they didn't really have any good images of the person. I mean, like dressed in dark clothing. I know there's one of him walking across the street. You can like, Jeremy played it yesterday. I was like, I don't see him. And then he like walked past the driveway for 2 seconds. I was like, oh.
And one of the worst things people can do, which they don't realize that they think they're helping, is when they generate AI images to put the pieces. Oh, let's make this clearer. Let's have AI take the mask off so we can get a better idea. But it changes the entire face. And then people are like, wait, that's not him, because I saw an image floating around on the internet that looked different because, well, that was AI that changed everything.
For sure. It's kind of interesting. I saw 2 things you're making me think of. I saw this video on Instagram Reels where someone like took a picture. It was like, you know, a girl, I think she's probably at a wedding. So she's sitting on a table. There are people in the background. And they were like, we told AI to replicate this photo, change nothing 500 times. And by the end, it was a totally different picture. So like AI can't not change things. It doesn't really know how to do that. And in this case, you know, it's not that it would go to trial, but like if you saw an AI like enhanced image of, you know, this guy or whatever, and you were like, oh, it kind of looks like this person, you turn someone in court, I would assume the defense attorney would be like, you can't trust AI. It doesn't have an accurate way of enhancing. So this would be like it could potentially harm the credibility.
Oh, for sure.
I don't
Yeah.
know if you remember this, but during Kyle Rittenhouse's trial, there was like a whole series where they debated, um, like they had zoomed in, like the way you would like pinch zoom with your phone on
Yeah.
something, and there was a whole debate on if it had added more pixels, if that had distorted the image, if it like is essentially computer generating gaps as it gets bigger, if it's accurate or not. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, the judge didn't let the zoom enhancement be used as evidence against
Right.
him.
Right.
So the stuff does matter. Do
It
you have a
does.
prediction on how long this manhunt will go on?
Goodness. I mean, I hope they catch him quickly, but just looking at this, it is very difficult. It's very difficult to because I mean, with him
What
being
is
a
this?
I
Yeah.
know, what is it? There's hardly anything you see. My best guess is if somebody knows him well enough, they can tell just by how he's carrying himself, right? Because,
Mhm.
I'm going to recognize my dad or my brother just by their silhouette and just
Right.
how they're like their posture and all of that. So it's really going to take somebody who knows him really well to be able to identify him.
Right. I've heard competing, like I've seen a couple of things online about whether or not this was a target attack on the female victim. I never was able to find anything to corroborate it before this stream. But it does seem like this person had knowledge of the campus, was sort of aware that people would be gathered in that building on a Saturday. So maybe it's just up to sort of the local community to see if it's someone they're aware of. But
Yeah.
obviously hoping that this gets a resolution soon, because it's tragic. And also I can imagine for all the parents of university students at Brown, the other universities in the area, and like the high schools and elementary schools, the idea that like a gunman is on the loose in your area must be terrifying.
Oh, for sure. That is terrifying. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely be praying for all of this going on and hopefully they catch him soon.
Yeah. I hope so too. Melanie, do you want to grab the YouTube chats for me, or any comments from YouTube?
Yes,
I
yes,
thought
we
we'd divide
do.
them up today because I'm such a Luddite, to be honest.
Sounds good. We
Uh,
did have I want to give a shout out to the Funk Master for gifting 10 memberships on Quartering Live. So that's awesome. And we have Tinfoil Hat with the $5 who said, "No Jeremy today. This is your chance to have a talk about Austrian art appreciation." Okay,
you
I
don't think I should do
wasn't
that when
aware.
Jeremy's here? We
Does
don't
he
think we should
not
do that?
like Austrian art? Is this an inside joke I don't understand? Or
I have suspicions about what this is about, but I think
really?
that Jeremy doesn't like art, whether it's from Austria, controversial leaders, whatever,
He
like,
does like art if it's German shepherd paintings. He does
oh
like
yeah.
that. Oh,
I
I
went
googled
to a Christmas
Austrian
market.
art. It's interesting. Okay,
I
I'll go
I went to a Christmas market this weekend. I was like, I'm gonna get them little ornaments or something, and I found an Australian, like a German Shepherd, like picture that I thought was so cute, but I couldn't find a black cat one. So now I have nothing for I didn't want to
Oh,
give one person one thing and
yeah.
because I would love to do
Aw.
a gift exchange. You guys might get something from the airport. I really can't tell you at this point.
Oh, how fun.
Uh,
Oh,
you got
all
anything else
right.
from
Yes.
YouTube?
We also have Dolphin with the $2 says, "Finally, we can have Tomb Raider talk." Oh, shoot. Shoot. I actually have kind of an unpopular opinion with this Tomb Raider stuff going on right now.
Okay, lay it on us. Because also,
Because
what's happening? What's going on
yeah,
with Tomb
so
Raider?
they revealed two new games coming out, one for next year and then the other one for the year after that. And basically, the one for next year, it's like a reimagining of Tomb Raider 1, and then the one after that is going to be like a continuation from uh the 2008 Tomb Raider Underworld, but like in the new style.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people are really excited about these because it's like, okay, they made Lara Croft prettier. She's got like the outfits closer, the dual
'Cause they made her
pistols
ugly for a
again.
minute there, right?
They did, especially in the Netflix stuff. And so people are so focused on that. But for me, it's just like, okay, I have an appreciation for these things, but it still isn't in the light of Lara Croft. I mean, they didn't really capture it feels like Saturday morning cartoon Tomb Raider. And Lara Croft is the key component of Lara Croft is she's supposed to have aura. Like she's just supposed to have so much
Mhm.
aura. That's how she was created. Like and so she's supposed to be like a character where it's like, okay, no guy can get her and no girl can be like her because she's just next level and she kind of thinks she's better than everyone. And I know that sounds insufferable, but there's a way that it can be
there's
fun.
like an eliteness, charisma. Like,
yes, and that's how they did it in the classic games. And so to me, it's just like, okay, now we have pretty girl Tomb Raider that seems really likable and fun and like a good character, but it's just not Lara Croft. Like, it's like, okay, she's fun, she's cute, she's relatable, she's and there's an appeal. I think there's an appeal to that for guys who play that's just like, okay, she's pretty, but she's attainable. And then girls are like, girls are not as
worth
threatened.
like introducing a new character rather than changing her so dramatically.
I think that would be better. Personally, that's my opinion on that. And it's just like, I didn't play Tomb Raider to have a character that's like non-threatening, like, oh, this is more relatable to me. And yeah, she's pretty, but she's not so much so that I can't relate to her and things like, no, I liked the fact that I'm playing this character that the best way I could really describe it is, you know how Angelina Jolie just has aura, like when she's in and for some people that might not be the best thing, and not everybody has to like Angelina Jolie. I think personally I probably wouldn't,
but she has a very specific energy.
Yes,
carries herself through a room, whether you like her or not.
Exactly. And that's a very similar, like, that's the closest real world energy I can compare that to. And so it's just like, okay, this new Lara Croft, it seems fun and nice, and I like her, but it's just not Lara Croft, and that's my take on that. So it's kind of an unpopular opinion right now, and I feel like I'm raining on people's parades. But hey,
look, you have to speak truth to power. Have the Democrats tell us nothing.
Exactly.
It's public opinion, but you're a controversial lady. This is not even the most controversial thing you've ever said, I think.
I know it's not.
And if it is, that's amazing.
I know, for real. But yeah, some people are even Hassan Piker, he even reacted to my take on that.
He loves you. He's obsessed with you.
I'm like, what? I was thinking, man, I was shocked. I was like, there's a lot of people that are really, and I wasn't even that. I mean, I feel like that's a pretty reasonable take of like, oh yeah, she seems cool though. I'm glad you guys like her, but I'm just not. People are just genuinely mad that I'm not sold on, or that it's not for me. I just say, okay,
why?
It's time for me to move on.
Don't take this the wrong way, but like, why do they care if you don't like
Why do they care what I think? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because it's just okay.
Obviously, I hope you guys all care what she thinks. That kind of is, a key part of our job, unfortunately. But
right. But for me, it's just like, okay, this isn't for me anymore. It's fun, and I hope people enjoy it, but it's not for me anymore. I'm gonna stick with the classics and the remasters of the classics, and I'm excited for the new Resident Evil stuff. So Resident Evil is my thing now, because this isn't made for me anymore. Tomb Raider isn't. And it hasn't been for a long time. So it is what it is, and I've accepted it. But people are really mad at that for some reason.
Look, I mean, I like that you're ending the year on a strong and controversial note. I'm going to grab a couple chats from Rumble. We can kind of bounce back and forth. Sire Williamson says, I paid for a third of Amfest. You are all not missing it, with a smiley face.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I appreciate the support. We are not missing it. We will be there unless, I guess, like, we get snowed out or something. It's an exciting time. This is a big venture, and again, I think it's just cool that we're all going to be in person, because it can change the energy of a show. So hopefully you guys enjoy our in-person takes as well as our virtual takes. Let's see what else we have. Spike 1117, I think. Turns out the hero that took the gun from the terrorist in Australia got shot by the female cops, not the terrorist. Is that true?
What?
This is a G Prime comic waiting to be made. Wow. Well, there was, like, you saw that video, right? Of the guy, like, wrestling, like, he was like hiding behind a car, and then he like wrestles away the gun from one of the attackers.
No, I actually didn't see that. I feel like okay.
His name's Ahmed Ahmed. He's a fruit vendor in Australia. Very brave of him to do this. Definitely save people's lives.
Right.
And he like had the gun trained on the guy, but then put it down, I believe, from what I remember seeing, because obviously you don't want to be like the brown guy with the gun in this scenario.
For sure.
And I had heard that the shooter, or that the attacker, had like a second gun and then shot him in the shoulder or something. But I guess I haven't seen it. I would, I don't, It's not that I'm doubting you. I just want to see it verified somewhere else.
Right.
If it was a female cop, dang, man. But it's like confusion of the moment, right? Like, I don't know. he looked like the aggressor. I don't know. He's undergoing surgery. I know he's met with the prime minister, so hopefully he's doing well. That's really all I can wish for him. Do you have anything else on YouTube you want to read before we get into our next topic?
Okay, we've also got okay. We got Rubber Toe with the $5 who says late and Les lol. Hey, I think we were on time. Yeah.
I did my best. There is a slight delay.
There is, that's true. And then he says it also makes me very sad when Walmart isn't racist. It's okay, Walmart is still racist.
Walmart is still racist, and I will tell all of you this. I really am a tech Luddite. Jeremy didn't even bother to explain to me how to put the pre-roll in, which, like, thank you. But also, like,
simple. Yeah.
Man, he's gonna, like, I don't know. He was, like, asking me what kind of computer I use at one point, and I was like, I don't know.
We gotta get you a Meta PC. That's what we need to do.
I'm afraid, but he might if he wants me to improve my boomer ways,
All right. Well, we'll make it happen.
Okay, I got one more from Rumble. This is Cookie Dawn 15 for $2 says, have people like David Wood and the Apostate's Prophet as guests someday to discuss how to push back against Islam. That's interesting. Melanie, you wanna hear some men's take on pushing it back against Islam?
Okay, yeah. I definitely want to hear that.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll circle back to chats in a little bit. Thank you again, Melanie, for grabbing the YouTube ones. I asked her to do that on the fly. So again, I'm running the show into the ground here. No, just kidding. It's fine. Everything is fine. So I want to talk about sweet Kash Patel. And I sometimes like hesitate to talk about this because I don't want to rag too hard. But Katie Miller, who I believe used to be Mike Pence's chief of staff, has this podcast.
Right.
And she announced today that tomorrow at 6 p.m. she's releasing an episode featuring Alexis Wilkins and Kash Patel. So let me see if I can play this for you guys. Can you hear the sound?
No, I can't.
Well, I'm going to talk over it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
That's fine.
They're asking her about, like, are you Jewish? Are you from Israel? And she's laughing. Are you a Mossad agent?
Oh, wow.
You know, they're teasing, like, asking about the engagement ring, you know, about his travels, because these have been sort of the Kash Patel controversies, right? Like, he allegedly paid, used FBI jets to travel back and forth to see her. He has maybe, had secret agents drive her drunk friends home. I mean, for a relationship that I don't think we've heard about in any other administration, who the FBI director is or isn't dating, it's kind of become a big part of the Trump administration criticism. What do you think? So obviously the second part of the criticism is that the FBI is in the middle of a big manhunt for someone, and he is appearing on a podcast.
Yeah, that doesn't look good for sure. Kash Patel is like definitely not been in the best light.
Yeah,
he needs a win badly.
Right. So this one is from Gavin Newsom's office. They're saying there's a mass shooter still on the loose while Keystone Cash defunded FBI can't catch him. But good to know he's got time to hop on a taxpayer-funded private jet to record a podcast with his girlfriend.
Well,
now,
I
don't even know if some of that is true. On the other hand, like, they could have recorded this weeks ago.
That's what
right?
I'm thinking. Like, this could have been recorded a while ago, and this is just when it was released. Now, I would have, if I were him, I would have reached out and said, hey, can you wait and release this later? Because this just isn't good for optics.
Yeah. It's a good question. Like, did Katie Wilson give them any indication that this was coming up? And does she owe it to him to be like, yes, I'll delay it, because, like, it's her business podcast and if that's news. So I don't know.
That's true. But I think that when you do have somebody with this kind of important role in our society, then I do think, like, think if the situation was similar where if we had him on Estrocast, but we were just reacting to memes and goofing off the whole time, then if he reached out to Jeremy and was like, hey, can you wait and maybe upload this once things have settled down, even though we recorded this, a while ago, it's just not good for optics. I really think Jeremy would be understanding of that. Say, hey, I get it. So there's definitely. So do you think that
we're like, it won't matter, we'll release it anyways? Like, I guess once she has said it's coming, she can't. Katie Miller can't really be
maybe
like,
so. Yeah.
Kidding.
I don't know for
Uh,
sure what her podcast like numbers do and stuff, and like how big her podcast is and what the anticipation was if she already announced it.
right.
So that may be the case there, but yeah, it definitely doesn't look good. And that's the thing too. I have to admit, when it comes to people in these kind of positions like director of the FBI and stuff, I don't care about what he's doing with his girlfriend. I really don't care. It's like, okay, if they get spotted out or whatever,
I
hey, that's their
just
personal life. But
support.
why is this why are we treating this like a reality TV show? It's like the only thing I want to know about Kash Patel is what he's doing in his job. That's all I
Yeah.
want to know. Yeah.
I kind of go back and forth because on the one hand, like it shouldn't matter, like if he wants to go, like his girlfriend Alexis posted pictures at the White House Christmas party. Like great for like good times. That should
Right.
not matter. I
Right.
understand the concern where it would be like if you're using, taxpayer funded things to like wine and dine your girlfriend, that's not a good
Right.
look.
Yeah.
I like some of the allegations of this don't seem totally substantiated to me. So, you know, it's hard to say. It does seem like this was an intentional choice. Like they, as a couple, have sort of become a controversial part of what's going on in like Trump administration at large. And so it's like, well, we'll go on this podcast with someone who's like sort of friendly to people in our sphere. I think Pete Hegseth and his wife just did this podcast. Um, but it doesn't, it like unless they're announcing their engagement, I think it just like sort of turns it more into a media circus. You know
It
what I'm
feels like
saying?
reality TV to me. I'm just
Yes.
like, why? I mean, good for them if they're happy together, but at the same time, it's just like I don't know.
Like it shouldn't matter, except it keeps coming up. And so like I'm gonna
Yeah.
address this comment, which I thought was, there's a lot of criticism of it. This user is saying Alexis Wilkins is currently suing 3 people for accusing/suggesting she is a Mossad honeypot. So why is she laughing and joking about it on this lifestyle
Oh.
podcast? If so funny, why is she clogging up our courts with her frivolous lawsuits? I mean, she's going after a couple different people on this front, um, I, I, including what like Elijah Schaefer. Like this doesn't that criticism seems valid to me. Like
Right.
they're obviously going on this podcast, and Katie Miller is addressing it. I guess we'll learn tomorrow what she says about it. But uh it's funny in this circumstance, yet you are filing a multi-million-dollar lawsuit on the other hand. I'm not.
Oh, big reality TV got her.
Wow, I'm getting
There we
taken
go.
out.
There we
Interesting.
go.
I don't know what to make of that. So what you have any predictions for this? I mean, do you think it hurts Kash Patel more? Is it just a
It
distraction?
does. I think
You
it
think it
hurts
does?
him more. Like this is looks like reality TV. It's just hard to take him as serious. And yeah, I've not been the biggest Kash Patel fan as of late. I've not been a necessarily a Kash Patel hater, but I think that he came into everything just with all of these. We had a lot of expectations for what he was going to deliver. Look at the Epstein files. Oh yes, I am going to drop these. Like it's going
Mhm.
to happen, guys. If I get in there, like it will happen. And then of course that was a gigantic mess and embarrassment of a situation that
Right.
also divided MAGA a lot. That whole controversy. And so it's just like, hey, right now he's got a lot of work to do with
Yeah.
what's been going on. So all of this stuff, like, it just doesn't.
I wish he wasn't addressing it. Like I could see maybe 2 years from now, you're announcing you're getting married, you're engaged, whatever, like you want to do an interview like this, that's fine. But
Right. I agree.
it definitely seems like this is in response to basically the negative public opinion towards him and towards the way their relationship might be impacting his judgment. Kash Patel seemed very promising to me. I've met him once. He was extremely nice. It just like there is something off here about how this is operating. And to your point, I don't actually want it to be reality TV. And I think
Right.
some of these moments overshadow the bigger accomplishments, like announcing that they foiled a potential Antifa terrorist attack on Times Square New Year's Eve. Like this is now going to drown out that. That is a big deal. And this is a distraction, unfortunately. And I don't know how you kind of I don't know how you gather up all the pieces and tidy things
Right.
up at this point.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not cute.
it's tricky. It's tricky. So
Yeah.
the for some reason, when I was like going over stories today, because I was just out here, freewheeling, it ended up being like a weirdly like male centric, but also sort of social based topic. Because the next
Okay.
thing I'm going to bring up for you is the fact that Donald Trump Jr. has announced that he's engaged. So at the White
Oh,
House last night, he's announced that he's engaged to Bettina Anderson. I think marriage is great. I think people
oh
should get
yes.
engaged and get married.
Wonderful.
This is his second engagement during his father's presidency. He was engaged to Kimberly Guilfoyle, who's now the ambassador to Greece.
Okay.
They were engaged for like, I think 3 or 4 years and
Oh.
ultimately, didn't end in marriage. Not all engagements do. That happens. What do you think? Are we going to get a White House wedding?
Oh, I hope so. How beautiful would that be? But I think
Yeah.
like I think things like this can certainly be celebrated and it's good. It's just a good look because with how society is right now with relationships and things like that, it's like and even what we're seeing in the red pill sphere that they're trying to kind of influence even conservatives with is
Mhm.
like, oh, marriage is bad. You're going to get ripped off. You're going to get mistreated, this, that, and the other. And while it's important to be careful about, who you choose to marry
Yeah.
and how they can treat you and how there are definitely bad people out there who use people and mistreat people, we have to really, I think it's important that we bring back that we just kind of stress that marriage is a beautiful thing, it's a wonderful thing, and it should be celebrated, and it's
Yeah.
it's God's design, and when utilized in the right way and with God being at the center of it, it's a wonderful thing. So
Yeah.
I love to see, even with like Taylor Swift's engagement. As much as I don't like Taylor Swift or Travis Kelsey, I thought that their engagement was it's a heartwarming thing to see in society more of like, hey, engagements and marriages being celebrated.
Yeah.
And normal ones, not the gay stuff, right? Because like
No,
we
I
see
agree
so
with
much of the
you.
gay stuff. We've seen so much of like hookup culture in society. We've seen a lot of anti-marriage people even saying, "Oh, don't ever get like that." It's actually people are profiting off of telling men don't ever get married,
Right.
right?
And
People are, yeah.
I think
So
that's selling a bad bill of goods, Like, I
yeah,
totally agree with you. You can't have this conversation without being like, obviously, who you choose to marry matters, right? Like, you can't just marry anyone and be like, "And my life's better." Like, you have to be selective, you have to be intentional, you have to get to know like, all of those things aside, I agree with you. I think it's Donald Trump Jr. announcing that he's engaged. Marjorie Taylor Greene is announced she's engaged. I don't know if that one's as exciting, but Taylor Swift announcing her engagement, especially for all of her female fans who are so invested in like her love life,
hmm,
and this transition that she appears to be preparing to make from just like girl boss to, potential family woman. She was at what's his name's Travis Kelsey's football game this weekend, like holding one
hmm,
of her future nieces and stuff like that. Like,
right,
this depiction of family marriage out loud, I think is great. I think it's really important. Uh, because marriage is to me a foundational institution. Now, we've talked about this before. If you don't get married in your life is still valuable, you still have purpose, there's all kinds of
right,
things. But if you are called to marriage, then I hope that you would be proud of it and also be a good example of it.
for
It makes me think
sure.
of like baby showers, right? Like, if
Yeah,
someone's having a baby, I hope we all of their friends throw them a baby shower because it's good to celebrate that they are having a child, having a family, like there's a community around them. And in similar, like Trump, it's like goofy Trump. I'll have to find the video. Laura Loomer posted it. There's a video of them at the White House, and like Donald Trump is like, and my son's gonna make an announcement, and like, he comes out there and is like, I'm getting married, basically. That's a horrible
right.
summary of it, but like the idea that you would have the president being like your goofy proud dad, even though you've like been divorced and had
Aw,
kids already, like I think that's good. I think that we should have
yeah.
cultures that are like, go marriage.
Yeah, I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's great. Yeah.
I On the heels of the question of a White House wedding, I want to bring up this older, longer article. This is from the White House archives. Give me a second here. Oh, the technology fail. I thought it'd be so smooth. This is a Q&A from, oh, look, do you want to get the official 2025 White House Christmas menu?
Oh, that
Is
is
this what I
really
should bring
pretty.
you?
That is pretty.
It is. So this is from the whitehousehistory.org website. How many
Oh,
weddings have been held at the White House? There have been 19 documented weddings hosted by the president and or first lady of the United States. And it kind of goes through all of them. So it's
okay.
the sister of First Lady Dolly Madison, the daughter of President James Monroe, who appears to be the first child of a president to have
Okay.
their wedding there. It goes on and on. President John Tyler and First Lady Lydia? Latia? I can't say
Letitia.
that. Letitia. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Tyler. That was in 1842. There was kind of a gap. The Lyndon Baines Johnson's daughters got married there. Let's see. The brother of Hillary Clinton got married there in
Oh,
1994. And then the latest one was Naomi Biden. She got married in 2022.
interesting.
It was,
Okay.
I think, either the same weekend as or like the weekend before, after, right around the same time as Tiffany Trump's wedding, which was held at Mar-a-Lago. And to me, that was this like weird moment where it's like if Trump had, been sworn in as president, then that's where Tiffany Trump's wedding would have been. But instead, it's at
Mhm.
Mar-a-Lago, and we have the Biden. Like, I don't know, it was kind of funny. And here are some images. Nobody cares about this but me. But nonetheless,
I
uh,
love it.
I like these ones because they're like old
Just
sketches and like
illustrations.
illustration
Wow.
of these White House
I love
weddings.
the attire though, like so
Yes.
fancy.
Also, can you like people do live pictures at weddings? Can you imagine if like this is what yours came out to look like? I feel like that'd be kind of
Yes.
cool. Here's some older brides,
Wow.
just kicking around. This looks like a more casual wedding.
Yeah.
This is also, I think, on the White House lawn. So just kind of a fun. I think this is one of Linda
Oh,
Baines. Yeah, this is Linda Bird Johnson getting married at
okay.
the White House. And I have heard before that a piece of her wedding cake ended up in her father's presidential library archives, which
Oh,
is like,
wow.
what? Um, also pretty. You can see kind of the columns there. And then this is Naomi Biden, who is the latest one. So all that to be said, do we
Okay.
think that Donald Trump Jr. will get married at the White House?
I
I
hope
think it'd be
so.
kind of funny, but maybe you
Yeah.
don't do that if it's like a second wedding. I'm not sure.
Oh, that's a
Uh,
good point. I don't know, but
I'm
it
not
would
sure
be
what the
kinda neat.
protocol is,
Yeah.
Let's grab some super chats. I'll race you to it if you get to the YouTube ones
All
first. We'll
right.
start
All right.
calling them out.
We've got Dave Chandler with the $5 who says, special fact of the day just for Astrocast. December 16th, 2025 is Jane Austen's 250th birthday.
Wait, that's so cool. I love Jane Austen.
Okay. Okay. And then Lee Kindler with the 499 kidney stones are no joke. Thought I was dying when I had mine. Hope the boss has a quick recovery. I think the scariest thing about kidney stones is if you don't know what's happening. And so the
Yeah, I
first time
can't imagine.
the first time I had a kidney stone, I had that same reaction. I was like, am I dying? What's happening? But after that, and I remember then when I've had other kidney stones, it's like, okay, I know what it is. I know I'm not dying. It hurts a lot, but I'm gonna push through it. Because what the other alternative is like going to the ER, like because
Don't they
I
just
did that. Went to the ER, they just gave me morphine, and it was like a
and you still have to like pass the kidney scale. Like it's not like there's
yeah,
like
then they send you home to do it. And it's like thousands of dollars. Like I ended up paying thousands of dollars for that. So I was like, you know what? No, I
in this
ain't
economy. No.
yeah, I ain't doing all that. I'm not going to the ER for some pain medicine. Like I'll take in a leave and I'll just like power through it.
Oh
I'll
my
jump
God,
up and down, walk around, do what I gotta do. But yeah, I ain't
you're a
doing
tough
all that.
lady. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
On Rumble, Sire Williamson says, Hannah, are you gonna read some comments? And in fact, yes, we are. Uh, in my sweet time, of course, in my
Yes.
boomer-esque way. That's the only one I can see right now, but I'll keep scrolling. Do you have any others
Oh,
on you?
okay.
Oh,
Yes.
wait, Sire Williamson also
Oh.
said, honestly, the suspect looks like a cop. Are you saying that because he's overweight? Is this some sort of like dig on
He's been eating a
cops?
lot of donuts.
Oh man. He doesn't
Okay.
look like a cop to me, but he does look kind
No.
of just like I don't know. He doesn't look like a trained assassin or
Yeah,
something.
right. He doesn't at all. Um, Dave Chandler with the 2 says he also can confirm kidney stones are the worst. Yes, they do suck. And then we've got Tinfoil Hat with the 20 says it's
Ooh,
not so much Muslim takeover as a Western giveaway. COVID
interesting.
aside, mass immigration is somehow the only other universal project of Western countries. Riddle me how the world suddenly all synchronized to that. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you look at what's happening in like the UK and stuff like that, it very much is just they handed things over to the Muslims when they brought them in. The Muslims didn't even have to do that much to get get their foothold in there. They got it handed to them on a silver platter. So that's a good point.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the Western giveaway is a good point, and that's been going on for a long time. I mean, like I think about like Dearborn, Michigan, and the fact that that actually like we talk about it in modern era, but migration to that area, from what I understand, started in the 90s. Like that's
Right.
quite some time ago. It's not like it just in some places there are big changes in a couple years, but a lot of it is like long-standing policy where we were like, no, it's good for us to do this, and then we left it go unchecked. We didn't think about the long-term consequences, or at
Right.
least some people didn't think about the long-term
Yeah.
consequences. Our Sergeant 31 on Rumble for $5 says Jeremy likes hot dogs. I am editing that comment, but maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. It's
Yeah,
not for me to
maybe
know.
he does. Yeah.
Uh, Brady Armstrong for $5 on Rumble says, my band reunited after 20 years to record an original Christmas song. I would love if Estrocast would check it out. Merry Christmas. I assume you're Brady Armstrong on the internet on a platform, and that's how we would find it. I love the hallmarkness of this, or Great American Family channelness of this plot that your band reunited to record a Christmas song. I hope you all then met a nice lady in the country and got married. That's very
Yeah.
exciting. Congratulations.
Nice.
Melanie, you have any on YouTube? Sorry, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth.
Yes, Dave Chandler again with the $10. Bondi Beach is an iconic location in Sydney. This attack was a miniature 9/11 for Australia. What's nuts is that politicians are still spewing the diversity is our strength bullcrap after this happened.
Yeah. They do not want it to be an immigration question. They would happy to be for it to be about guns, but let's just be honest here.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, Bondi Beach is iconic, and I had read that this was the largest attack, largest shooting in Australia since like 1994. So I'm sure it'll have deep cultural impacts, but will they take what I think would be necessary legislative steps? Who knows? Let me see if I can grab another one from Rumble. If you beat me to it, Melanie, you go for
Okay,
it.
I've got one more from Valhalla Christ or Valhalla Kissed. Five with the $5. Haven't experienced kidney stones, but gallstones with a necrotic gallbladder is up there on the pain scale too. That does sound bad. That does sound bad.
Yeah, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
The Swamp Cleaner on Rumble says, hey, Melanie. Okay, open your ears, Melanie. This one's for you.
Okay.
Tomb Raider was the first movie I saw Daniel Craig in. He was a great supporting actor. The bad guy suck was not convincing.
I do think that the bad guy in the first Tomb Raider movie was very underwhelming. I think that the first half of the first Tomb Raider movie was fantastic, but then like right there at the end, the climax of the movie, the final boss fight was just it should have been something so much more epic with like magic powers and this and that. Instead, it's just like, okay, here's a dude and they're kind of like fist fighting and stuff. And yeah, it was underwhelming. But I do love Angelina Jolie in that role. I think and it's funny because
she has an aura.
She does. She has the aura because she didn't even particularly like Lara Croft. Like when you hear her talk in interviews, she didn't really like the character. But she, as much as she would say things like that, she just happened to be her. That's what they happened
like she
to
was just cast perfectly.
She just had to be herself. That's why she nailed the role. It wasn't for research. It wasn't for her passion for the character. It was just that she was being herself, and she happens to basically be Lara Croft. So
that's so funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, last one from Rumble for now. I'll read the rest of them as soon as I can. Radk79 says, this is your chance to put your hair in a bun just to irk Jeremy. We think alike because I definitely considered doing that before the show, but you know, we don't want to be disrespectful. We want full Estrocast to be considered a reliable part of the team. And Jeremy's so weird about these things. Okay, so I want to jump to this topic, and I would like your take on it for a number of reasons, and I'm sure you'll understand why. But again, picking up with the men in drama relating to the relationships theme that I accidentally had for today's podcast, have you followed what's going on with Michigan football? I know you're more of an NFL girl.
Oh, I've heard some of like the head coach like being caught in an affair and then
Yes.
pulling a knife on the causing
It got
ruining
crazy.
his life basically. He just ruined his life.
Yes. So this has become a nice crossover for you and me because there's a true
Yes.
crime element now, and for you there's a football element. And then for
Exactly.
Jeremy, when he rejoins, there's a gossip and drama element because that's his favorite
For
thing.
sure.
I'm getting fired. This is the end of my time here. So this, I'll give you, from what I know, is a summary. Chat, I'm happy to have you add more details. This is gonna be a little rough, but Sharon Moore, who was the coach at Michigan, was fired for cause a couple days ago. And it basically has come out that he had an affair with a woman who I believe was his assistant in the football department. And that it was investigated a couple months ago. They weren't able to find any evidence that something happened between them. I believe that she broke up with him. I'm not sure. That she then went to the head of the department or whatever, said, I can offer you evidence we were in a relationship. And she
Uh-oh. They got her.
Big Michigan. Come
Big
on. I'm
Michigan
just trying to talk about this. Okay. So I don't know what you heard, but he gets fired because it's for cause. They do not have to pay the remaining like $12 million in his contract. After that, he is married and has 3 daughters. He then goes to this girl's house and apparently threatens her. It threatens to hurt himself, threatens her, like chaotic scene.
With a knife
gets
or
arrested
something. Yeah.
with a knife. I've heard butter knife. I've also heard kitchen knife. I'm not really sure which.
Okay.
And goes, I believe, for a mental health hold and is ultimately brought in on charges. He made a court appearance. It went from being what I thought was going to be kind of like a mild scandal, like people get fired for like, unclear reasons, and we never really hear about what happened, but this is getting more and more wild all the time. What do you make of this? What do you know about this scandal?
I just think it's crazy how this guy he's on top of the world, essentially, has a really good job making a ton of money. I mean, like huge, massive contract. Here's somebody who is in a position, a dream position. And it just shows how much that, if we let Satan have a foothold in our life, like he can absolutely ruin our life. And look what happened here. He had a family. He had a dream job, making an unbelievable amount of money. And he threw it all away because he fell into adultery. And it's like, was that worth it, man? Like that's why it's just so important to be careful
people
with entertaining
really critical.
any sin. Yeah,
right. People are really critical of him. So I couldn't find it, but I really wanted to find it. There was a post where someone had said she had an affair with him, knowing that he had a wife and 3 kids, and someone quote tweeted it and was like, surely he also knew the whole time that he had a wife and 3 kids. Like,
exactly.
I'm not saying she's innocent in this, but like,
right.
Hold on, team. Like, both parties at fault here.
Exactly.
I'm not really sure what provoked her to come forward about the relationship. I've heard a couple different things. But one of the things I saw him getting a lot of criticism for is that, like, in his Instagram bio, he had Christ follower, like that written out as a description of himself. Yes, Melanie. Do you think that is a bad thing to put in your bio? Does it just set you up to sin and fail?
Well, I think, that's the thing is you gotta be careful. Because God will, that's the thing, God will expose you. Like if you're really doing, like, you will get exposed. I strongly believe that. I believe that these people who are doing these things, that's why people ask all the time, like with these adulterers or even murderers, think about people committing these like heinous acts. They're just like, how'd they get caught? Wow, are you an idiot? How'd you get caught? Well, I truly believe that, yes, there is some element of people being an idiot, but at the end of the day, I think when you start doing these things, you're you're just gonna get exposed. It's how it is. Like God will
Right.
expose you, even if I mean, at the end of the day, humans we're inherently idiots in the grand scheme of things. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna
I
get
I
caught.
agree. And
Yeah.
you're kind of picking up on something that I've heard reported with this was that it was like an open secret on the campus.
Mm.
You know, this is to me, and I don't want it to be like just gossip about these people. Like the things that are interesting to me about this story are that like it's very unusual for a big organization, whether it's college or something else, like a professional football team, to um give any indication of what is going on. And in this case, University of Michigan in their statement said that he had violated, I believe they phrased it as like violated the terms or the standards of coaches for this school. So like they indicated that there was some sort of moral or personal failing. This article talks about the fact that they have a specific policy that says basically like a supervisor starting relationships with someone is a specific violation because of the power dynamic, which I guess was
Yeah.
instituted because of a different Michigan scandal at some
Yeah.
point.
Wow.
But it is
Props to
also
the
sad
school.
that like this is like a school that's doing well, and
Yeah,
this is what everyone involved is now known for. And but
for sure.
down to the players. There was this this made me laugh because it was like the victims here are his wife and kids, which I thought was
Right.
interesting. But then I saw this post, which was that Sharon Moore and his wife were spotted in public together. They got married in 2015. They have
Oh.
3 daughters. In this, I mentioned the baby. He's pushing a stroller here.
So she's
Um,
gonna stick with them, and you
it
know
seems,
what?
I
It's
mean,
a
like,
it's a
and
sad
maybe she's called
situation.
to.
Maybe
Like, this
she
is the
is.
thing about marriage that is so hard, which is like he did her so wrong. Like, this is awful. This is public. This is humiliating. It breaks trust. But also, like, they're married. So how do you handle
Right.
the situation?
It's a really tough one, especially with kids involved, young kids involved and stuff. So it's just like, it sounds like for the sake of her family, like she's really trying to work through it. And it's just my prayer that he'll be repentant of this
Yeah.
and that and that, through leaning on God that they will be able to restore their marriage, that the strength of their marriage is going to be
Right.
a tough time, but ultimately the hope is that they can bounce back from this and that he can acknowledge his wrongdoing and
Right.
repent and not do something like this again. And that's
Right.
the thing, is having in his bio, his faith and stuff. Well, it's really important that now he dives into the Bible and sees examples, like look at King David in the Bible who committed adultery, right? And he was so deeply repentant for his actions, and he also took accountability, right? And he got
Right.
punished for it. And when we do, that's the thing, is as Christians, it doesn't mean that we're better than people who aren't Christians. It means we're
Right.
saved, right? We're saved, and so we're still gonna have temptations to sin, and we're still gonna sin sometimes. I mean, of course, something this egregious, as a Christian, you most certainly know better, and you
Mhm.
have to have been like really slacking on that conviction to actually get disregarding, like quenching the Holy Spirit to actually to get yourself to a level to do something like that.
Right.
But hey, he absolutely can be forgiven. He just needs, if he's repentant, he will be, and I hope that is the case.
Right. I'm curious to hear, maybe several years from now, if I like go on like Katie Miller's podcast and talk about how this impacts their marriage. I mean, it is interesting. I've heard a couple different couples talk about things like this, like whether it's an affair or some other kind of, deep betrayal. One that I heard was like he was actually in tons and tons of debt and had lied about it and cost them, their life or
Mm.
whatever. Not their lives, but like their way of life.
Right, right.
You know, it's interesting to me that like we were just talking about that marriage is good and you should pursue it, but also like once you get married, it doesn't mean that it's just like, and we're good, everything's gonna be fine.
Right, right.
And obviously this is having a public element, but I think for a lot of people, that question of like, can you move forward after this level of betrayal, of hurt, of deception, is interesting. And I think you're right that like, it is something. Obviously, they should be private and deal with whatever they need to, but
Right.
I would be curious to hear how their faith
For
potentially
sure.
impacts and helps them reconcile because they ultimately do have, several young children together.
Exactly.
And it would be I would assume, in their best interest if their parents are able to reconcile and come together stronger for them.
For sure.
You know, a little sports gossip. Someone else, I saw this comment being like, this is why you shouldn't have female coworkers. Like, you shouldn't do whatever. And I don't know if
Well, it's
that's
like,
the
no,
reaction.
no, it's like, can you not control yourself, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's the Bible teaches us self-control. And if you just like, obviously we should flee from temptation within a degree, but we're going to be surrounded by temptation just by existing in society. So
Mhm.
it's like, instead of, we can't make society keep us from sinning. That's
Right.
impossible. So I mean, that's on us to practice self-control. We should all be in a situation where we're not going to commit adultery, even if somebody is right there in front of us, naked and begging us to. We should have the strength to say no at any
Right.
situation. And so you can't expect, oh, you can't have female coworkers or opposite sex coworkers and this and that and the other. It's like, hey, work on your faith, right? Work on your
Yeah.
shortcomings, and if you feel like you can't have a female coworker, then get a different job. But don't expect like these companies to not to
Right,
not
the answer
hire
isn't to, like,
women.
become segregated. That seems more like, I don't know, an Islamic culture to me, you know? Like,
Exactly, it
there are
does.
cultures that do segregate women away from men, and they can't go out without a relative male escort or cover them, whatever, and, like, I like modesty, but let's be realistic here, like, if you cannot control
Exactly.
yourself, then that is something that you have to look into. I don't
Yep.
I don't know that the answer is, like, purge women from the workforce. I
Exactly.
want women to stay home for different reasons, but not because you are, like, unable to
Because you
stop
can't
yourself
control
from trying to
yourself. Yeah.
initiate an affair. Like,
Yeah.
let's get together, team. Let's grab a couple more comments, and then we'll move on to the last, almost, what I would call a listicle that I have saved for Melanie that I feel like will be fun for Estrocast.
Yeah.
Over on Rumble, I have Omega Ratsu? Sorry if I'm mispronouncing this. I live near Dearborn. Muslims in Dearborn have been a thing since the 1940s. They have lived on the Detroit side of the border and moved across into Dearborn in the 80s. So I had read that there was a specific wave of Muslim migration during the 90s because of a regime change, but I believe you that, you know, something could have preceded that to make Dearborn the destination for people who were fleeing political instability in the 90s. It's interesting. And yeah, the collapse of Detroit might have impacted that as well. Melanie, you have anything you want to
All
read?
right. We've got Deadly Bob on with the $5 who says, Melanie, what do you think of Uncharted? I played it and it just felt like a Tomb Raider clone with Gears mechanics. I'm not I think Uncharted was overrated. I really do. I think at the time when it first came out, there was a huge appreciation for just Naughty Dog's ability to their facial animations and just their narrative driven adventures were pretty next level and was really awesome at the time when it was novel. But I do think that that's partially responsible for the downfall of gaming, of AAA gaming as a whole, because then all of a sudden you started to see a shift in gameplay focus so much on just narrative and characters talking to each other and bantering all the time instead of gameplay being the main focus. And so, yeah, I do think Uncharted, most of the appeal with Uncharted was just the narrative and
Hmm.
less on like the actual gameplay. So,
Huh.
yeah.
I don't know anything about this, but you sound very eloquent when talking about
Thank
it.
you.
On Rumble, the local Wendigo says, "Does sushi work if fish is allowed during a fasting?" I don't know. I assume only if it's like
Wait,
sashimi. Like you couldn't have
sushi
rice
while
then.
fasting?
Like if you're
Or,
allowed fish while you're fasting, which
oh,
to me would mean that you're not fasting, but I don't know. Can you have sushi? But only if the sushi is like just the fish. Like if you had the seaweed and the rice,
yeah, yeah.
you know, you can't have a spicy tuna avocado roll. You know, you can only
Right.
have the spicy tuna. I would assume.
Yeah.
Omega Ratsus, again, I'm butchering this pronunciation. Apostate prophet Ravidian is a former Muslim turned atheist, converted to Christianity. Interesting guy. Would prefer he became messianic, but close enough. David Wood, he can be a handful. Okay. You guys have to let Jeremy know too, because you know, ultimately, though I look like I run the show, he is the one who gets something, who has say over these things. Lone Wolf 126 says Alexis Wilkins answers no to the Mossad agent question. Candace Owens. That's just what Mossad agent would say. That's funny. I mean, I don't think Alexis Wilkins is Mossad. I don't really have any reason to like believe that, but I think this PR campaign is not so good. Uh-oh.
Mm.
Am I frozen or are you? Or am I
Oh,
just
no,
talking too much?
Okay.
Sorry, I'm sort of
Okay.
talking at Melanie
No, we're
today.
good. We're good. No, it's all good. I got another one from Tinfoil How with the 10 who
Okay.
says, if Hannah Clara wants, she can sign off with Elon Musk. You have my heart salute today. Try something new. Better to ask forgiveness than permission with the live cast.
I don't know why I would be the one to do that sign off. But what are you guys doing? What kind of weird stereotypes are you creating?
Oh.
Let's see. What else do I have over here on Rumble? Do you have anything else on YouTube?
I think that's the last one.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll scroll through Rumble for a second. Let's see. What else do we have to do? Do you want to go over this listicle really quick before we
Yeah,
let
let's do that.
I should pull a Jeremy really quickly and say, why don't you tell people where they can find you
All
before we go
right.
into our last topic?
Yeah, you guys can find me at Bible Time with Melanie Mack, where I've got Bible verse of the day and Bible topics there as well. And then my gaming streams at Melanie Mack, which things are hectic right now with this kidney stone and prepping for this trip. And then Christmas. So I'm not going to have as many gaming streams as usual for the next couple weeks. But
is there a Christmas video game that you'll play on stream? Because I think that would be fun.
I don't know. I mean, I did just play that game Chronos the New Dawn that had Christmas trees everywhere. So that was fun. So there are a bunch of VODs from that. But yeah, probably just going to be a couple more streams before Christmas because of Amfest throughout the week and then Christmas coming up. So, but I'll be there. I'll be there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys definitely should check out her stuff. I think Melanie is so fun. I'm really excited to do this show in person with her this week. You guys can find me on Rumble and YouTube. I'm Hannah Claire B in both places. If you missed Jeremy, come back tomorrow. He's doing the show all by himself. We are always grateful to do full on Estrocast, which I think actually has happened maybe once before.
It has, or when Jeremy was on vacation.
Yeah, we've done it a couple times. And
yeah,
I think it's fun. If you don't want Jeremy to come back, go to his live stream tomorrow. Tell him, get out of here. Tuesdays are just for the girls. Just kidding. We know Jeremy's one of the girls. Okay, so for our last little segment of the day, we won't keep you guys here too long. This is from NBC News. It's from Labubu Mayhem to the Diddy trial. These are the cultural moments that define 2025. A lot of places do these kind of wrap ups at the end of the years. I'm sure you've top movies of 2025, but I thought this one was kind of fun because it's like a walk down memory lane. You doing this kind of podcast, like we talk about so much, and I look back, I'm like, oh yeah, that happened this year. So the first one that got me was Winter, the TikTok ban that never actually happened. Do you remember?
Yeah, we were really concerned. Like, I mean, I say we, I mean me. Because I love TikTok. I use it all the time. I know. I was like, oh no more TikTok.
It's your ministry. I respect you. I'm scared of China, but I respect what you're doing.
Yeah, I get it. I understand for sure. But yeah, there was and
it was gone for like one day. Like I remember all these people posting like well, since this is gonna be gone, and then it was like immediately back.
Yeah, it was. So and it seems like Trump saved it too. Like
Can you imagine a TikTokless America though?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's going to just be moving to Reels, Instagram Reels then. Like it's going to be basically TikTok, but just on Instagram instead. So I feel like my thing with why I like TikTok is because you get everything that you see on Instagram Reels, you get it first on TikTok. So
I always like, it's like a time zone. I'm like, I feel like I'm like 2 or 3 weeks behind the trends.
Exactly.
I see stuff, but it's not on time.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. TikTok's fun. I know that it does have a bunch of garbage on it and a bunch of like gay stuff, but there also there's a lot of good Christian content on there as well. I see a bunch of it. And
I like some TikTok when it was like, here's how you make this fun recipe with feta cheese and cherry tomato. You know what I mean? Like
there's that too.
See where it's some of the funnest parts of the internet, but
yeah,
you know, it's making our youth dumb.
It is. I think that I think parents should not let their kids on the internet. That's my take on that because I can see
that Australia's doing that.
Oh, are they doing it at a government level?
They're doing it everywhere. It's a ban. Anyone under 16 is not allowed to be on social media in Australia,
Hey,
and
I
Denmark
mean,
has following suit.
I think that parents shouldn't enact this, but I do agree with the principle of it. Kids under
Mhm.
16 have no business being on social media. Like well,
It's more harm than good, in my
indoctrinate and
opinion.
brainwash them. I think so too. Yeah.
Okay, here's another one from the winter, according to NBC. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show turns head. This is when he performed. I think there were other things, but he performed "Not Like Us," which is the song where he's calling Drake like a child interested person. I don't know what we're allowed to say on which
Oh,
platforms
yeah.
here. And that song was like viral. I mean, it was everywhere. Which
Yeah.
was,
I didn't
like,
even watch the Super Bowl cuz I was just like over it.
were
For
the
that
Steelers
year,
in
but
last year?
no, Steelers
No.
sadly, yeah, not.
When was the last time the Steelers were in the Super Bowl? I'm sorry, I'm such a
Oh
sports
gosh,
Luddite.
it was like 2000 uh 6 or something. Like it
Are you
was I was hyped about it at the time. Let's see. Let's see. I got to remember um Steelers last Super Bowl. Or wait, it was 2009.
okay?
2009. That's when we beat the Arizona Cardinals.
What are
It's very
what it's looking
exciting
like this year?
because I
How's
was a fan then. This year, it's looking like we have a good chance of winning our division, and so we're looking pretty good for playoffs. But I don't think we're gonna make Super Bowl. I don't. I think
you
we're
don't want to set your
probably
expectations too high. I get you.
yeah.
I
I think
respect
we're
that.
probably gonna lose the first playoff game as we do. That's how we've kind of been as of late. But it's fine. In recent years, it's like we go to the wild card or we go to the playoffs and we lose the first game. That's how it's been.
Hmm.
That's what I'm expecting this year. Which
You
hey,
expect the
I'm
consistency. If that's what they do, like you
yeah.
know what to
At
expect.
least we'll make playoffs, but we're definitely not a Super Bowl team right now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so in the spring, NBC News is highlighting the Labubu craze takes the world by storm, and we've talked about this. A toothy plush doll that may have been described as creepy or even slightly ugly ignited the biggest collectible craze of the year. Labubus, which come in blind boxes sold by Pop Mart, were so quickly sold out that the lucrative market for resold Labubus and even fakes known as Lafufus thrived this year. A life-size Labubu sold for more than $170,000 in China, and Labubu heists have even gotten local police involved in California. We talked about this doll. Do you remember this? One day I
We
like
did
hijacked the stream. It was like,
because
Melanie, give me your
yep,
take on Labubus.
because a lot of people were saying that they were demonic or yeah, like that there's supposed to be this there's some demon that's named something similar to Labubu.
Really?
Yeah, and so
Yes.
a lot of Christians are like really against the Labubu stuff. And for me, I couldn't quite conclusively come to kind of an opinion on that. It's like Labubu, I actually think it's cute. It's like a creepy
I
looking
come around on
monster.
them. I think they're kind of funny.
I think they're cute, and I thought about getting them, but then I just thought I don't like it enough to
Yeah.
actually get it. And then seeing how a lot of Christians think that it's demonic, and
You don't want to send too
I
controversial of
don't
a vibe.
want to risk it. It's just like yeah, it's like I don't really want to risk it. I don't think it's demonic. I think it's cute, but I also think it's like super consumerism like, and
Yeah.
I don't really like that.
I go back and forth because
Yeah.
like I like the bag charm.
Yeah,
Like bringing
I
that
do
back.
like
I like
that.
the idea that you would have a bag, and rather than buying 27 bags, you buy little charms and make them fun
I
or like
like
change
that.
the value. Like I think that could be cool. I also kind of think it's us moving away from like the beige minimalist era and more
True.
towards a little bit of a maximalist. But
That's
that
true.
does still have some consumerism. Like any of these collectibles, like are you collecting or are you just buying a lot of stuff? Like we're right
Right.
on the
So
edge here.
it's like, it's fun to have a balance. It's fun to see something different because like the complete minimalism was a bit boring.
Mhm.
So it's fun to see personality.
Yeah.
Uh but do you remember Domo Kun? I don't know if
No.
you okay, so
Maybe if I
Domo
saw a
Kun,
picture. Hold on. Let
I
me look.
feel like Domo Kun was my era of Labubu. That was like it's this monster from Japan, a monster mascot. And I had like the Domo-kun backpack, Domo-kun like
I'm not
hoodies,
spelling it.
plushies.
Oh, I know what this thing is. Yeah.
Yes, I love Domo-kun. So when I thought about getting a Labubu, I was just like, well, I like Domo-kun better. I would rather just I want them to make a bag charm of Domo-kun. Then I
Yeah,
would
I bet they
get that.
do. Because I've
Yeah,
heard people compare
set
this
up.
to, like, the Trolls dolls, like, because they would make
Right.
little charms of those, or, like,
Yes.
Jellycat is so popular as a brand. By the way, men listening, these are things to write down, and when you're trying to buy a present for your, like, teenage niece for Christmas, you get them
Yep,
one of these things, you know? We're
that's
here to help.
true.
Jellycat is really popular, and they make charms, so I like that aspect of it, but, yeah, I do remember the day that I was like, "Melanie, these demonic or what?"
Yes.
They're also highlighting Katy Perry and, Lauren Sanchez's trip to space, kind of.
Oh,
Trip to the
yeah.
top of the atmosphere, I guess.
That's true.
Uh,
Katy Perry got a ton of backlash for that. It
which
was funny that was her specifically. Like more
her
than the others, it seemed like she got the most backlash for
because
that.
I think she was sort of the most vocal about it. Like, Lauren
True.
Sanchez does a lot of stuff, but I don't really hear her talk that often, whereas
That's
Katy
true.
Perry was, like, doing interviews, and even Gayle King, like, didn't say
Yeah,
quite as much. Katy Perry also came down and, like, kissed the ground, like,
she did.
I
Yeah,
don't know, it was
she
not
did.
good. It was where I learned that Lauren San like, I did a video on this on my channel because it was just, like, the Internet's collective united front, "This is so cringy and ridiculous,"
Yeah.
was so funny to me. But it was where I learned that Lauren Sanchez is often, you know how they'll say be like, Katy Perry, a pop singer, and Gayle King, a journalist. They would describe Lauren Sanchez as a philanthropist, which I was
Mm,
code for, like, no job, but rich
yeah,
fiancé at the
yeah,
time, now husband, which I thought was really funny. And she designed their spacesuits, which were, like, super fitted, just like
for
NASA
sure. Yeah,
regulates.
yeah.
This was a summer thing. You know more about this than I do. K-pop Demon Hunters. I never watched it, but you
I
said it was good.
love it. I love it. I've got a poster right there. I was so into K-pop Demon Hunters. I thought it was fun. It was cute. It was wholesome.
It's everything you
Um,
needed.
yeah, no,
I
so
know that, like, the music was really, really popular. There were a
it
couple
was
songs that
so
people
good. And a lot of people, I mean, there are some people I notice in my comments that don't like the K-pop Demon Hunter thing. They think it's demonic. But I, from my take from the situation and from what I know, even the people who wrote the songs, they had Christian backgrounds. And so when they were writing the demons and were writing the songs from the demons, I mean, they were taking biblical concepts for how these demons
really?
operate. Yeah. So it
That's
definitely,
interesting. I never would have guessed that.
yeah. So it wasn't glorifying the demons. It was showing how demons operate, right? And how they how they want to promise you the world and how they
Yeah.
tempt you and things like that. And I think sometimes when it comes, people might just look into something at a surface level and not realize the what they're trying to they're honestly
Yeah.
exposing a lot of how these demons operate in society and in the music industry. That's what was really stood out to me is because it's like there's definitely a huge demonic element to the music industry specifically. And you
Right.
can see that in K-pop Demon Hunters as well. I
Which
thought it
is,
was
like, funny that
fantastic.
they would, like, call it out,
I
you know?
know.
Like, that
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe because it's, like, I had a different culture, I don't know. Sydney Sweeney becomes cultural flashpoint. I mean, she's always been a little bit controversial, but they're talking specifically about her jeans ad, which she's walked back a little bit, I guess, recently, not really. Uh, I thought this was one of the most ridiculous controversies ever. The fact that she was, like, saying the word jeans and they were like, eugenicist.
Right.
Like,
And then
oh,
I got backlash for this because I said, okay, because like I have the opinion that yes, her ad was not racist. That's ridiculous. But
mhm.
I also had the opinion of like, okay, as conservatives, can we? Because this sparked a lot of these conservative content creators to start sharing like provocative images and
Yeah,
videos of her and say, oh, let's own the libs by sharing these like very intentionally lustful
right.
images. And it
You were
was
like,
like, wait, as
the
conservatives,
problem with the ad is not the jeans, it's
yeah,
the lust.
it's like as conservatives, we shouldn't promote lust to own the libs. Like that was my take, and I got a bunch of backlash for that one too. So
Look,
that was insane.
I feel like you thrive on that, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
it's a thing.
there's a couple others that I wasn't like, do you remember the Kiss Cam thing?
Yes, that was so funny.
That was wild. Also, there are no secrets on the internet. They talk about Taylor Swift entering her fiance era.
True.
Also, that she released Life of a Showgirl, which I thought was a flop. It's controversial. We talked about Jimmy Kimmel. I don't really feel like talking about Jimmy Kimmel.
For
And then
real.
the final one on this list from the fall is 6'7".
6'7". What's so funny is I was putting together a puzzle with my family over Thanksgiving weekend,
Mhm.
and we were putting together a Christmas puzzle, and I was explaining to my older brother what 6'7" was. Honestly, it's nothing, but I was trying to. And so
You're
as a
reading him into the
joke,
culture. I getcha.
yeah, as a joke, every time he would find a puzzle piece that would fit, he would go 6'7". And so
Did you see JD Vance tweeted about this? That he was like in church and there was something like 6'7" said, and one of his sons like
oh,
said it 7 times. He was like, "Look, we may need to amend the First Amendment."
that's so funny. But yeah, so then like my parents just like ironically got dad was like looking for a puzzle. He's like, I haven't even got 167 yet. I'm like, my parents are such boomers trying to
This is the thing, like
I
as
got
soon
a
as the
6'7".
brief- I had to like explain it to Jeremy on air one day, and then it started popping up everywhere. And I feel like that's a sign it's sort of coming to the end. But I don't
Right.
know. I mean, this is
I
part of the
don't
problem
know.
not being on TikTok. Like, there's a lot of
True.
lingo that the kids use, like Ohio. Do you want know like how that's used?
No.
Okay, from what I know, and I don't know if it's still popular, like Gen Z uses the term Ohio to basically describe like someone who's weird or like off.
Okay, that's
Um,
fair. Ohio, there are I see my family growing up usually said that about Pennsylvania. I'm a Steelers fan, so I can say this. But like growing up in upstate New York, every time you met someone from Pennsylvania, they were so weird. I'm weird too. I'm just a
the
different
whole
brand of
state.
weird.
You're
But
all
yeah, it was like, oh, if someone came from Pennsylvania, they were weird. So I can get that with Ohio. But
I was thinking about
I
like,
love Pennsylvania, so no shade.
well, I feel like for a long time, like people talk about like Florida or like the idea that like you Google Florida man in your
Florida's
birthday and like some
crazy.
whack
Yeah.
headline. Like to me, it's sort of
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny that Ohio is taking the hit. Right, so we gotta get an
That's
Ohioan
funny.
as our vice president.
Right.
But yeah, I like that article. I like the little wrap up of the year. I don't want to keep everyone too long. I know there's a lot of other shows on Rumble you want to get to. My friends, thank you for joining us. Let Melanie tell you where to find her one more time, and then we'll wrap for the day. If you like entire Estrocast, tell Jeremy, go to the stream tomorrow, tell him not to come back. Then you'll see us all live all together Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week at AmFest. Guys, thank you for your support. The fact that you guys watch this is the reason that we're able to do things like gather in Arizona. And I'm really grateful to be a part of it. So Melanie, where can people find
Yeah. You guys can find me at Melanie Mac for my gaming streams. There's not going to be that many until after Christmas, but I will still get to it. And then on my Bible channel, Bible Time with Melanie Mac, where I've got Bible verse of the day every day, as well as a full Bible read through in my playlist and more Bible content coming soon.
And you guys can find me on Rumble and YouTube. I'm Hannah Claire B in both places. I'm also Hannah Claire B on X. I'll have some more Pentagon videos coming up. I'll do some other news and cultural videos. I thank you guys all who've already subscribed. If you haven't, please consider it. It helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so you get notifications as we go live for the rest of the week at AmFest. Yeah. Bye, guys. I don't know how to do a raid. Probably not to worry about it. So
All
it's
good.
over. Bye.
Bye.
It is hard to do this with two hands. Hold on, I got to turn off the stream, Melanie.
I got you. I'll carry
Keep
the weight.
waving.
I will.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye.